Some moments are so shocking, so violent, that even when you watch them unfold with your own eyes, you can't believe they're real. These aren't movies. They aren't staged events or action scenes. These are real attacks, captured in terrifying detail. The exact moment when nature's fury breaks free and human beings find themselves completely powerless. Tonight, we're counting down 5 of the most dangerous animal attacks ever caught on camera. These are the clips that leave you breathless, the moments that burn into your memory, and a chilling reminder that we are never as safe as we think we are. Across the globe, humans and wild animals are colliding more than ever before. We build cities next to their habitats. We put them in zoos, parks, even our own backyards. And sometimes, we even dare to step into their world, thinking we can control the chaos. But the truth, the wild is never truly tame. One wrong move, one single mistake, and the line between human and prey disappears forever. These 5 clips don't just show animal attacks. They capture the terrifying moment when everything goes wrong, when instinct takes over, and when the fight for survival begins. And sometimes, the cameras are rolling when nature reminds us exactly who's in charge. Our first story takes us to China, to the Battling Wildlife Park, a sprawling drive-through safari just outside of Beijing. Here, visitors can experience the thrill of being surrounded by some of the world's most dangerous predators: lions, bears, and tigers, all from the safety of their car. There is one rule that every single guest is told before they enter: do not, under any circumstances, leave your vehicle. The car doors are your only shield. Open them, even for a moment, and you are no longer a visitor. You are prey. On July 23, 2016, one family's visit turned into a nightmare. Inside one car, a heated argument broke out between a young woman and her family members. In a moment of frustration, she opened the door, stepped outside, and began to walk around the vehicle. She thought it would be safe. Just a few steps, just a few seconds. But in the trees nearby, a Siberian tiger was watching. What happened next unfolded in a split second and was caught entirely on park surveillance cameras. The tiger lunged. It exploded from the undergrowth with terrifying speed, jaws wide, claws slashing. Before anyone could react, it had clamped its teeth around the woman and dragged her, screaming, into the forest. Her family erupted in panic. Doors flew open, voices shouted, but the nightmare wasn't over. Her mother, desperate, fearless, sprinted after them, trying to save her daughter. And that's when the second tiger attacked. It tackled the mother to the ground in a blur of orange and black. The attack was violent and unstoppable. Park rangers rushed to the scene, firing warning shots and trying to scare the animals away. But it was too late. The mother was killed instantly. The daughter survived, but her injuries were catastrophic. Deep lacerations, crushed bones, and wounds that would leave scars forever. This footage shocked the world when it went public. Millions watched in horror as the tragedy played out frame by frame. Experts later explained why the tigers reacted so quickly. These are apex predators. Their instincts are honed to detect weakness, to seize any opportunity for a kill. When the woman stepped out of her car, she crossed an invisible line. And the tigers reacted exactly as they would in the wild. The lesson here is brutally simple. In a predator's territory, even for a moment, you are no longer in control. Our second story takes us far from the open plains of a wildlife park and into the bright lights of a circus tent in Russia. For centuries, humans have tried to tame wild animals, turning them into performers for our entertainment. But no matter how well they are trained, no matter how many years they spend under human command, they are still wild at heart, and that heart can turn deadly in an instant. On the night of the attack, families packed the circus tent. Children laughed, parents cheered, as a massive brown bear was led into the ring by its trainer. To the audience, it was thrilling but safe. The bear wore a harness. It obeyed commands. It seemed calm. But beneath the surface, tension was brewing. Without warning, the bear snapped. It reared up, ripped free from its handler, and lunged. The trainer didn't even have time to scream before he was on the ground, pinned under hundreds of pounds of muscle and rage. The bear's claws slashed. Its teeth sank deep into flesh. The crowd erupted in panic. Children shrieked. Parents grabbed their kids and fled as other circus workers charged into the ring with tasers, poles, anything they could use to fight the animal back. The video captures the chaos perfectly. The music cutting off mid-note, the screams of terrified families, the bear's guttural roars echoing through the tent. It took several minutes to subdue the animal and pull the trainer free. By then, his injuries were catastrophic. Deep puncture wounds covered his body, and blood soaked the sawdust floor. He barely survived the attack. Witnesses later said they had seen something in the bear's eyes right before it happened. A flicker of wildness, a sudden refusal to perform. For years, it had tolerated the lights, the noise, the commands. And in that one terrible moment, it remembered what it really was: a predator. And in a circus ring filled with humans, there is only one way that story ends. Our third attack begins not in a forest or a zoo, but in the middle of a celebration. In many parts of India, elephants are symbols of peace, wisdom, and strength. They are decorated with paint and flowers, paraded through the streets as living icons during festivals. But even the most revered animals have limits. And when those limits are crossed, the results are catastrophic. On this day, hundreds gathered for a religious celebration. The air was filled with music and laughter. People danced in the streets. Children clung to their parents as they craned their necks to see the massive bull elephant towering above the crowd. At first, everything seemed perfect. The animal moved slowly, guided by handlers, its tusks shining in the sunlight. But what no one realized was that the elephant was entering musth, a biological state in male elephants marked by surging testosterone and uncontrollable aggression. When an elephant is in musth, its strength multiplies, and its temper is like a ticking time bomb. Then, in an instant, the calm broke. The bull trumpeted a deafening roar and charged into the crowd. Screams filled the air as hundreds of people scattered in every direction, but one man wasn't fast enough. The elephant slammed into him with the force of a truck, tossing his body like a rag doll before trampling him underfoot. The scene descended into chaos. People pushed, tripped, fell over one another, desperate to escape the enraged animal. Camera phones captured the horrifying moments as handlers struggled desperately to regain control, waving sticks and shouting. But their voices were nothing against the roar of the beast. The man who was trampled survived, but only barely. He suffered broken ribs, shattered legs, and massive internal injuries. For weeks, doctors fought to save his life, a reminder of just how fragile a human body is compared to an animal that can weigh over 6 tons. Elephants are majestic, they are intelligent, but they are also wild creatures with instincts we will never fully control. And when they decide to fight back, there is nothing we can do but run. Florida is famous for its sunshine, its beaches, and its alligators. For locals, seeing these prehistoric reptiles lounging near lakes and golf courses is almost routine. But make no mistake, these are not lazy animals. They are ambush predators, perfectly adapted to strike with terrifying speed. On a quiet afternoon, a woman was wading near the edge of a lake, completely unaware that she was being watched. Beneath the surface, an 8-foot alligator lay perfectly still, its eyes just above the water, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And then, it did. The water erupted as the gator surged forward, its jaws clamping down on her leg with a force of over 2,000 pounds per square inch. The woman screamed as the reptile began its signature move, the death roll. Spinning violently, it dragged her underwater, trying to tear flesh from bone and drown her at the same time. Nearby witnesses shouted for help, some frozen in terror while others filmed the chaos. Her husband dove in without hesitation, punching the gator's snout, clawing at its rough skin, refusing to let it take her. It became a desperate tug of war between man and beast. each roll threatening to pull them both under for good. Miraculously, he won. The gator released her and slid back into the murky depths, vanishing as silently as it had appeared. But the damage was done. Her leg was shredded, the muscles torn apart, the bone cracked. Paramedics rushed her to a nearby hospital, where surgeons fought to save the limb. It took multiple surgeries and months of recovery for her to walk again. This attack is a chilling reminder of why alligators are some of the most dangerous predators in North America. They don't stalk you like a tiger or chase you like a wolf. They simply wait, silent, patient, until the moment you step too close. Our final story takes place at a wildlife park in South Africa, where lions are kept in controlled enclosures and trainers perform live shows for visitors. From behind the safety of fences and viewing platforms, it seems thrilling, but safe. After all, the trainers work with these animals every day. Surely they know how to keep them under control. But lions are called kings for a reason, and kings bow to no one. On this day, dozens of tourists stood watching as a trainer entered the enclosure to feed a massive male lion. The crowd's cameras rolled, capturing what was supposed to be an exciting moment. Then, everything went wrong. The lion lunged without warning, knocking the trainer to the ground and clamping its jaws around his neck. In seconds, the predator dragged him across the enclosure, shaking him like a toy, as onlookers screamed in horror. Other staff members rushed in, wielding sticks and shouting commands. But the lion's focus was unbreakable. For several terrifying minutes, it seemed certain the trainer would die right there in front of the crowd. Finally, with a combination of distraction and brute force, the staff managed to separate man from beast. The trainer was pulled to safety, but his injuries were catastrophic. Deep gashes along his throat and chest. Crushed tissue where the lion's jaws had clamped down. Doctors later said it was a miracle he survived at all. This footage is a stark reminder that no matter how controlled an environment seems, these animals are not pets. They are wild, they are powerful, and they are always, always dangerous. 5 moments, 5 encounters where humans were forced to face the terrifying truth. We are not always at the top of the food chain. On the savannah, in the circus, at a festival, near a peaceful lake, even in a controlled enclosure. The wild can strike at any moment. These attacks are more than viral videos. They are cautionary tales, reminders that nature is not here for our entertainment or our control. When you step into the world of predators, even for a second, you are taking a gamble with your life. And sometimes the cameras are rolling when instinct takes over, and someone doesn't make it out alive.